Sajeevan.
Ian, hi, nice to meet you.
For the many times in 3 years.
Yes.
So, my name is Ian. 12 years ago, I started what is now We Got Plants. It was 2012. I left a very stuffy corporate job. I was home with my daughter, didn't know what to do, found a farming internship of all things. I would be outside, which is what I wanted, and turns out I knew how to grow things. I spent the next 2 years, perfecting my craft on a 1,000 square feet plot up in Downsview Park. And then from there, I worked on friends' farms to help people convert their farms, their backyards into farms. And then I came across 2 greenhouses in Scarborough, and I operated those for 5.5, 6 years. It was at that time in the greenhouse where I saw what can be grown year round, and I experimented with a lot of things like figs, okra, strawberries. From there, I found myself into hydroponics. I set up a couple freight farms. Part of the hydroponic journey has taken us to these offices here in Etobicoke, Rexdale, Toronto, where we are growing leafy greens such as bok choy and basil, which are incredibly easy to grow in a hydroponic system. The most important thing is we are experimenting with fruiting crops. Here we've got some red bell peppers and some cayenne. And again, this is just a small showcase that we have in our offices here to show prospective clients and customers. Right now, I'm going to take you to the tiny farms that we have out in Kingston, Ontario. So here is Sajeevan. He is the mind behind the tiny pod and the tiny farm. He started Dunya Habitats. How? Why? What was the inspiration?
So, Ian, it's been around 2018, 2017 at OCAD University. It actually started as a group project for, we were looking at refugee camps around the world and how we could provide fresh, nutritious food for them. Because a lot of the times, a lot of the UN packaging it's pre-packaged, it travels thousands of kilometers, so it's using nutritious value. So we were looking at how to get into those United Nations camps. And one of the major issues was you can't have something permanent. It's got to be small. It's got to be mobile. So that's where we came with the hexagon design. We looked at beehives of all things. So, a small hexagon could be placed inside the camps and you can scale up. So you can add more hexagons as you want and make it a larger system. But if the camp doesn't allow you that, you can just spread them out.
Right. So these are easy to pick up with a crane, move it on a truck.
Yes.
And I can see the design with the beehive. So will they attach through the door, or you just attach them from each wall?
So it would be attached to the door, exactly like how Extender Family has it right now. There is a vestibule outside. So they have 2 farms. In the beginning, they were separate. So you would just walk outside into open air. Now we have the vestibule. So if they want another one, we can extend that by adding more farms. So kind of like a beehive. And we call them clusters. So in a cluster, there's 6 of them with a central control module in the center.
Oh, great segue. So how does the farm work?
So the farm is a vertical hydroponic system. We've made it very simple. It has every wall is separate walls. Water tank at the bottom. It basically pumps the water up to the top, showers down to individual towers. The water hits and soaks the peat plugs inside it, where the plant roots are growing. The plant absorbs the nutrients from the water, and they'll grow out. So it's a closed loop system, so we're saving 90% water than typical agriculture, and the nutrients are directly sent to the roots.
Okay, cool. Now you said a lot. So when you say the water, so the water in these tanks?
Yes, the water in these tanks.
Okay.
I'll just take this off. So as you can see, it's just coming down the pipes.
Right.
We have a pump here. It goes to the top.
Okay.
All the way to the top, and just comes down to the pipe. So
and everything is pressure controlled here.
Yeah.
If you needed to turn off some taps,
exactly.
you can certainly do that. Okay.
Yeah. So maybe one side has more water, or you want less water. We can control all that. Showers down in the back, hits the root system. There's a peat plug in here, which absorbs it. and allows the plant to absorb the nutrients as well. So as you can see, the roots do grow nice and healthy and very long. So over a 4-week period, they will need some trimming.
Can you seed directly into here, or is it recommended that you seed and then transplant?
You can seed directly into there. We've done that as well, and they've grown perfectly well. But I would recommend having a separate seedling setup because most seedlings like more humid and warmer environment
Right.
versus the tiny farm. We're usually around 18 to 20 degrees, depending on what you're growing.
Okay. Now it is summer here in Ontario, in the GTA, in Kingston, where we are, Ontario. It's really muggy and humid out there right now. But when you come in here, we've got a nice, cool environment.
Yes.
Obviously, you have some air conditioning, HVAC happening in here. What happens in the winter? Do we turn up the temperature? Does that affect growing in any way?
It does not affect the growing at all. Outside temperature might be minus 30 or plus 30, but our system here, the HVAC system, will control for that. And yes, wintertime, we do have heating on. Filters will prevent any of that from getting inside.
You don't feel any of that mugginess in here,
You
so
don't
that's
feel
really
any,
interesting. It's a nice. It's actually a break from being outside
Yes.
right now. And when you mentioned the watering, how often are these folks replenishing the tanks?
So these tanks are approximately 100 liters.
Okay.
So they're good for 5 days. And it's not that the water is being lost, it's just being used by the plants. These are the upgraded reservoirs. We used to have 44 liters.
Okay.
These ones will last for 5 days. And as I mentioned before, the water is just recycled over and over again. But it does get used up by the plants as they're growing. So we will top it up over a week.
All right. Plants need nutrients. Is it a foliar spray, or are you using liquid fertilizers in the tanks?
Yeah, we're using liquid nutrients, which are right now manually added to the tanks. So our clients, users, will put a temperature probe, EC probe, and a pH probe to measure what the nutrient levels of the water are. Add the nutrients based on that. We do have a fully automated system that can do that, but as a learning process, it's better to learn manually, figure out exactly how everything works, what to do with the plants, and then as they're growing the system, so say they go to 3-4 pods, we would add more.
You would want automation at that time.
Right. Yes.
So it's client-based, you would say, with the automation.
Yes.
I mean, personally, if I had one of these or two of these, they're very easy they would be easy for me to manage, but I understand, someone who's new to this may opt for the automation. And how do you find this partnership with EAF? What does it mean for an organization such as yours?
Honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better organization. 2019, Paul and I walked around the center just imagining what we could do. Hey, can we have robotics that are controlled by an Xbox controller for participants who might not be mobile enough to get into the units, right? So the pandemic hit, things did slow down, but we continued working with them, creating the designs on how to bring this vision to life. And 2022, 2021, we finally got the first pod on site.
That's really cool stuff for Dunya. And, have you thought about it? Where do you go from here? You have 2 pods here. I know you have one in Malvern, which is east of Toronto.
Yes.
And then you've got some scattered up north. As an organization pushing hydroponics, where do you go from here?
Yeah, so we are now looking to expand, right? So Kingston was and is our flagship site and clients as well. They were our first clients. So now we're working with them on, creating different designs and iterations on what works, what doesn't work, figuring that out. But our next step is scaling in production and manufacturing locally here in Southern Ontario. We do have our North American patent, and we're applying for our European patents to expand there as well.
Good stuff, man. Well, I wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you, Ian. Thank
All
you
right.
for coming by.
Yeah, no problem.
Pleasure.